Well, good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us for KREM 2 News 10 at 10, where we give you more news in less time. I'm Tom Sherry. Mark Hanrahan has the night off. So let's get started. A heated Spokane City Council meeting is still underway as we speak. Let's take a live look right now. You can see for the past 4 hours, council members have been hearing from the community members on a few notable issues. First, council is still considering a resolution to denounce Mayor Nadine Woodward after she appeared on stage with self-proclaimed Christian nationalist and former state representative Matt Shea. The mayor has repeatedly apologized for that appearance and claims that she didn't know that Shea would be present. And they were also expected to discuss an inspector general position for the city who would be in charge of investigating waste, fraud, and abuse allegations against city department heads. Finally, the ongoing controversy at Scraps was on the agenda tonight as well. Last week, more than a dozen dogs were put down at the shelter, and just hours ago, council members passed an emergency ordinance clarifying Spokane City Code around animal euthanasia. The ordinance states it's only allowed when a veterinarian determines an animal is severely sick or suffering. The code also says Scraps cannot euthanize animals due to shelter capacity. Now, this is important because the city contracts with Scraps and they must follow city code. More than a dozen people testified against Scraps, saying the dogs should have been saved.
I knew some of these dogs. I used to give them treats and talk to them. They would always sit for me and knew to gently take the treat from my hand. I didn't even get to say goodbye. I didn't want them to die. I prayed they wouldn't die. I wish I could have saved them.
Scraps tells KREM 2 that they do not euthanize animals when the shelter gets full, but they will put down dogs deemed too dangerous to adopt. City council members plan to continue working with the county and Scraps on the euthanasia policy. Again, tonight's meeting still underway. Council members voted to extend public comment until 10:30 this evening. Now, coming up on KREM 2 News at 11, our Kyle Simchuk will have updates on which of those other items passed and what exactly was discussed tonight. Turning now to weather, we're in for a bit of a change this week from warmer and dry weather to cooler and wetter weather. We get straight to Chief Meteorologist Jeremy Legoo to find out more.
Well, Tom, that rain is knocking on the door and it's actually doing something to our temps. 64 degrees is quite warm considering it's 10 p.m. and it's been rather cool the past few days. But today we did top out in the 80s. So all in all, not looking too bad. Wind has calmed down as clouds take over, and that's as our frontal boundary nears. That's spinning off the low, sitting off the coast. And as it moves through, we are going to get rain and then eventually a little more wind. It has been raining in the central part of the state for hours now, and that is eventually going to work its way toward us. I think the rain takes over in the next couple of hours, and by tomorrow morning, catch a quick break, and then it's another round as we move through the day. Rain on and off Tuesday. Wednesday starts a very similar trend, and we'll watch that rain then move out, and believe it or not, we've got more on the way. So the next few days, much cooler and much wetter. 62 tomorrow, 57 on Wednesday, 59 on Thursday as those temperatures cool down after this cold front moves through.
Thank you, Jeremy. Well, now on to Nightbeat with a quick look at the day's top stories. The United States Marshal is now offering $10,000 to anyone with information on a wanted man from Okanagan County. 27-year-old Dylan Harrington's wanted for several charges, including 2 counts of first-degree murder. Detectives say that Harrington's believed to have shot Dave and Geraldine Covey on their property up in Omak. Their bodies were found burned underneath a sheet of plywood. Now, they think Harrington was squatting nearby and stealing from the Coveys. He's described as a white man, about 5 feet 9 inches tall, weighing 145 pounds. He has brown hair and hazel eyes. Anyone with information on Harrington is asked to call the Marshal's tip line, and that number listed right there on your screen. Well, a driver is facing vehicular homicide charges after a deadly crash near the Spokane International Airport. According to Washington State Patrol, a Honda Accord and a Kia were both going eastbound on I-90 last night when the Honda hit the Kia. A woman from Redding, California, who was a passenger in the Kia, was killed in the crash. The driver of that Honda now expected to face charges of vehicular homicide. And just hours ago, the West Bonner School District superintendent resigned after only 3 months on the job. Brandon Durst made the announcement on Twitter saying that he wants an amicable and fair exit from his role. Durst also said he faced many obstacles, but he's also proud of some of the work that he did during his time. This comes after a weeks-long back and forth between Durst and the Idaho Department of Education and the West Bonner School District regarding Durst's qualifications for that job. The school board is expected to meet on Wednesday. Well, that was your Night Beat. To learn more about any of these stories, just head to our website, KREM.com. Well, this afternoon, a family of 3 remains intact despite that devastating gray fire. When a Silver Lake mother and daughter had to evacuate during the fire, they were forced to leave without their cat, Meows. They returned to what was left of their home and found their cat, Meows, living underneath the rubble. She spent nearly 3 weeks in ICU. Her owners say that seeing the extent of her injuries made the gravity of the fire even more real for them.
Seeing her green eyes like open for the first time, you know, after the state that we found her in, you know, was really, really so amazing.
Well, according to the Medical Lake Veterinary Hospital, Meows was in critical condition with severe burns all over. But as you can see right there, she is expected to recover. Well, time to avoid a government shutdown is running out. The White House is calling this a Republican shutdown and warns that without a solution, at least 4 million federal workers will not get paid. Food safety inspections could be delayed and cancer research could be stalled. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy has failed numerous times to convince Republican lawmakers to compromise, a task that may be even tougher now that former President Trump has urged conservatives today to shut down the government if they don't get, quote, everything they want. And after 146 days of walking the picket lines, writers are expected to ratify a new deal in the coming weeks. But that doesn't mean anything in Hollywood will be changing anytime soon, because the deal has to be ratified by 11,000 guild members, and more than 160,000 actors are still without a contract.
We are in a labor moment. We had dual Hollywood strikes for the first time in 63 years. We have the auto workers out. We almost had UPS out. Workers, even non-unionized workers, are sick and tired and have found a straw that broke their back in terms of income inequality in this country.
With the ongoing actors' strike, your favorite shows may not return until next year. And happening tomorrow, President Joe Biden will join striking United Auto Worker members on the picket line in Detroit, Michigan. The UAW represents about 146,000 workers from Ford, General Motors, and Stellantis, the maker of Dodge and Chrysler. The White House says that while the president will not be involved in negotiations, he is standing with the auto workers. Well, caught on camera, an amusement park ride in Canada stuck upside down for 30 minutes. Witnesses say the people who were on the ride were shouting, "Get us down!" While the maintenance staff worked to fix the issue, 2 people on the ride reported chest pain and then they lost feelings in their legs. The ride is still closed and is under investigation tonight. Well, that was KREM 2 News 10 at 10, where you get more news in less time.